Hello, welcome to Ask Yourself This and today's quote and question for July the 7th, 2018. We're in a different location than we've been in for a while. We're working on the studio, or my office, if you will. My office is in a corner of the same room we're in before, where the living room is. It just happens to be unoccupied right now, and the office being a bit trashy kept the living room from being so trashy. So trust me, the living room is definitely out of sorts, and I'll have to hear about that coming up later. But what I'm here to do for you today is give you today's quote and question, so you have something to think about, something to hopefully journal about, and we can discuss that online. Now, how you can find the details for what we have in this project is simple. Go to facebook.com/askyourselfthis, follow there. Me actually make an actual Facebook group for some deeper discussions on some of the questions, seeing how things go along the line. Groups are sort of dying out. Everything fads in and fads out, and groups are fadding out for the moment, if you will, but the Facebook page is plain and simple and ready to go. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter, it's AskYourselfTHI_, and Instagram is AskYourselfThis_. Couldn't get them all the same, unfortunately, but we're working towards that. So the point of the quote and question is every single day I send you out a quote of the day. Pretty simple. A lot of people do that. I also send out a question that's inspired by that quote to use for a thought-provoking instance, something to get your thinking in the morning, and maybe if you're a journal person and don't have a topic to do that morning, use that as a topic as well. I basically do that as I create the questions, put them in the queue, and go through every morning and give you a little bit of my insight here in the questions. But I also take them down and have a bigger discussion for other things coming down the line, including what I'm going to promote right now are Ask Yourself This writing books, writing journals, writing notebooks. There are two different versions we have. One is spiral bound and one is book bound. The book bound actually comes in a ruled version with lines or a unruled version if you like to doodle with open lines. I like having open lines to write on myself. The spiral version is bound, so it has regular lines to write on. And you can use that for anything you want to. You can take it along with you to take notes in meetings. You can take it for church notes if you want to, whatever you need to, but it's a great thing to use for a dedicated journal for this, although you don't have to necessarily get the dedicated journal. We're asking because it helps support the mission. There's also t-shirts and mugs and things at the website link you'll see in the comments for this, or in the description for this video coming up later. So check that out as well. If you just want to pull out your phone and type it in your notes app, that's awesome. What I'm asking you to do, if you want to journal this and really get a lot out of this, is to look at the question for the day, make a note of the date, make a note of the question, and then write whatever you feel. And then you can harken back to it days later, weeks later, months later, especially years later. So if you put it in a hardbound journal and see, years later, it's really cool to go back and see what you thought about a certain topic then and see if your thoughts may have changed. So right now, let's go ahead and get into today's quote and question. As we said, it is the 7th of July. And we go today to a woman who's very popular on the speaking circuit, very popular all over social media right now. Someone that I've been following for a while when she was not quite as popular, but of course the author of the 5-second rule, who you've probably seen over and over again, not the drop on the floor 5-second rule, but the 5-second rule to get you to basically accomplish anything. If something is, you think of something and you feel discouraged, you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in 5 seconds you just go do it. And that's how it works. So I suggest, and maybe I'll put a link to the 5-second rule in things as well. But this is a quote that she had in some recent posting that she put out somewhere. That's where I pulled it from. Managing other people's happiness will rob you of your own. Managing other people's happiness will rob you of your own, from Mel Robbins. And so, with that question, with that statement, I should say, I go to a question of biblical proportions, really, and ask, are you your brother's keeper? Now, does that question really fit this quote? I think so, because your brother is not necessarily your brother. The question stated here, when Cain asked, was he his brother's keeper for Abel after he had killed him, and God asked, well, where is he? This is the same sort of concept. In the quote, Mel is talking about keeping up other people, taking care of other people will definitely keep you from taking care of yourself. That's the heart of the message from there. So, if you are a person who has to be their brother's keeper. It has to be the manager of other people's happiness. It has to be the person who maintains the maintain. That takes away from you maintaining yourself. And it's all good, it's all great if you are actually good at that and you can manage taking care of the work and then taking care of yourself inside. But that's a problem a lot of people actually have in being a maintainer and maintaining themselves in the process. There's a lot of people using the term, formerly people pleasers. People use, because things get popular in social media and in personal development, they becomes an overused meme, and that's one of those things right there where people say there were formerly people pleasers, and now they've learned to focus inwards and focus on themselves. That's great and all, but a lot of times that's being said by people who aren't so much former people pleasers, but people who are looking for people to please them or, pay them money. Here's a down level version of that idea. Are you a person who has to take care of other people, or at least feels the need, whether it's an actual need, whether it's guilt, whether it's, whatever it is that pushes that idea, that you are the person that takes care of things. You're the person in the family that fixes things. You're the sibling that pulls people together in the big fights. You're the family member that reaches out to long lost people who kind of be out there. You're the guy at work that de-escalates those things when the creepy guy and the weird guy start going back and forth. You're the person people come to when they just don't know how to settle a situation. Are you your brother's keeper? Are you the person who takes care of everyone, everything, all the things? And is that a problem for you? Maybe you are your brother's keeper and it is a problem because you can't take care of yourself. Maybe you're not, and maybe you'd like to be more attuned to keeping up with people. Maybe you want to be the person that people come to in situations, and for some reason that just doesn't connect. What do you think about that? Not an easy answer to the question. Not an easy conclusion once you have that answer as well. So, now that you know the question, now that you've had an idea to listen to me talk about it, I want you to think about it for a while. I want you to process it, and I want you to put it down somewhere so you can actually see the words in front of you. And there's many ways to do that, as we said. You can just pull out your notes app on your phone and start tapping away and save it with a date, and make sure you put it someplace so you can retrieve it later on in the future so you can see exactly how you were feeling about this question, however long in the future you intend to be. You can buy a journal, and as long as it's written down, it doesn't really matter. It can be a spiral bound notebooks. I do a lot of writing in just regular spiral notebooks that I use for serious notes. I've been known to take a stack of spiral notebooks into big time meetings with details of things and explain away how I got through processes. If you're looking for something that's a bit more attractive and very functional, check out the link in this video and you'll see a link for the Ask Yourself This notebook, or two notebooks. One spiral bound and one is book bound. Whatever your style is, they're very stylish and good looking notebooks that you can use for anything you want to note wise, and we suggest they're very great for using in these things. And keep an eye out for a very cool thing we have coming up, a very cool product we'll have coming up soon. I think we're in the final stages of the testing of it, and then we'll have to figure out how to package and distribute it. I don't even have a real full name for it yet. It is a combination worksheet that has one half a listings for you to do your daily dozens, as I call them, working out your top priorities for the day, the tips, the things you want to do as priorities for the day, and can journal for the question. And we're going to get it to you so you can have it ahead of time. I think it's going to work out pretty well. What we're looking for is you to help us figure out which of these quotes and questions actually work best with this. So you can talk to us on social media. We love that too. Ask Yourself This is the home for Ask Yourself This on all the social media platforms. Slight variations because some people got them before others. On Facebook, it is Ask Yourself This. On Twitter, Ask Yourself THI_. Instagram, Ask Yourself This _. So you'll see the questions posted every single morning at 6:35. You'll see them, and you can answer them there along the way and see what other people think as well. If you're moved to share your idea, if it's not too personal, not too dark and deep in some cases, share it with us so we know that we're doing good questions, or at least like the questions, show us that the questions are are great. Show some thumbs up based on whatever platform you're using, or hearts, or whatever. In the meantime, be with us tomorrow. The video right now is a little sketchy on getting that out there, but this is a description that we put down usually about an hour or so before we launch the actual Ask Yourself This question on Facebook. So you can see that Facebook Live on facebook.com/askyourselfthis, and it pops up in the other social media sites later. That's how the video is working right now. We're working on, you see the new studio. Just fixing the office up so I can actually do some work in the office and, you know, do some better quality recordings. Working on the equipment, but as we've been saying for weeks now, it's all about getting it done, getting better day by day. We'll see how well this thing works out once we've got it done, but then we'll have a baseline to know where to go from. Thank you so much for joining us for today's quote and question. Make sure you're with us tomorrow, video-wise, hopefully. If not, as we said, you know where to find this question. 6:35 in the morning for your Sunday. It'll be the 8th of July. You can find it at facebook.com/askyourselfthis, instagram.com/askyourselfthis_, and twitter.com/askyourselfthi_. Once again, I do this a lot. Thank you so much for joining us in the video. Goodbye for now. Thank you for supporting the project for Ask Yourself This.